Consulate. And we have some representatives here from the Northwest who want to present these letters to Mr. Trudeau, Prime Minister, or General Consulate of Canada. On behalf of planet Earth, we ask you at this time, dear Mr. Trudeau, welcome to Seattle. We are gathered here today at the Canadian Consulate because we have been informed that you will be meeting with Governor Inslee tomorrow to discuss Northwest issues. And we implore you to address our concerns regarding tar sands projects in that meeting. We are deeply concerned by your recent approval of the Keystone XL pipelines and the Trans Mountain Kinder Morton expansion, which would carry up to 1 million barrels of toxic tar sands oil per day through our precious territories. As you probably know, tar sand oil is the dirtiest fossil fuel on Earth. As your closest neighbors, we feel it is our responsibility to remind you that Canada is already expected to miss its 2030 carbon reduction goal by at least 91 million tons. You cannot possibly meet your climate obligations in your country and the world if you continue to expand tar sand production. In your acceptance speech, you said that in Canada, better is always possible. Why then are you doing better to invest in clean energies and wean your country from outdated fossil fuels? As citizens of the United States, we stand to gain little from these projects. The Keystone XL pipeline would require the destruction of our land simply to transport oil for export to foreign nations. The only oil that the U.S. citizens will see from this project will be in the form of oil spills. We simply cannot allow this, and we will not allow this at all. As citizens of the United States, we stand. Mr. Trudeau, over 100 First Nations have signed the Treaty Alliance against the tar sands expansion. As a professed supporter of First Nations people, surely you know this. These projects threaten Indigenous sovereignty in both your country and ours, endanger our precious sea, and rock us all in irreversible climate catastrophe. NASA scientist James Hansen has called tar sands projects such as KXL game over for the planet. If you do not listen to the indigenous peoples and scientists, who will you listen to at all? From your actions on Keystone and Trans Mountain, it appears that while representing the citizens, you only listen to corporations. Mr. Trudeau, the time to create a new vision is now. Our planet cannot continue like this. You have a choice: tar sands or clean lands. We implore you to stand on the right side of history, to be a true leader, and work with us towards a livable future on this planet that we all call home. We have taken brave stands on diversity and science since you took office. You have taken these stands. We ask that you take your bravest stand yet and withdraw support from the Keystone and Trans Mountain pipelines. It needs to be game over for fossil fuel profiteers, not the earth. You have the power to do better. Please do better. Sincerely, the Earth Protectors of the Northwest.
So, they wouldn't let us enter and hand deliver the letter to Trudeau, but the sergeant talked with the security for Trudeau and he gave it to them. He reluctantly took it, but he took it. And let's hope and say, Trudeau, if you're watching, we delivered that letter to you.
Welcome to Seattle, Mr. Trudeau. And thank you for accepting that letter. We hope you read it and understand where we stand. And thank you for your visit to Seattle. And thank you for coming and bringing over your ideas. But we ask you to stop the tarsands productions. We ask you not to bring that dirty oil over here to America for the corporations' profit. We don't want that. We want clean water, clean land, clean air for our children. Every one of us are affected no matter what color our skin is, no matter what kind of uniforms that we wear. We all are affected. Our children are affected. We all drink water every day in order to survive. And the oil corporations are trying to charge us for our right to drink water in order for them to produce more oil and make more money. We need to stop this. Thank you all for being here. At this time, these ladies are going to sing an honor song that's indigenous in this area, this nation, these tribes here. So I ask you all to join in. You'll catch the song right away. Join in. So we're going to be, this song really is a song that's dedicated to all our women. The women are the backbone of our nations, including the women of Canada. So we sing this song for all the women.
I always want to say that this is an honor to have received this song, and I received it in Standing Rock. I was told that this song originated from this side, and it was originated for a mother that lost her daughter to domestic violence. And it became the women's honor song, the women's warrior song, that all women would sing this song in memory and in honor of Indigenous women, missing and murdered Indigenous women, sex trafficking, domestic violence, for our future daughters and granddaughters and our future generations, that we would honor them and remember our ancestors, our grandmothers. And so when I sing this song, and when you sing this song, say it in memory, say it with prayer in your heart for the women.
Yeah.
podium for Justin Trudeau. So come on down, Justin. Got some commodity cheese for you. We're going to open up the floor for anyone that has any ideas, opinions about what we're doing here. If you guys want to talk a little bit, come on up. We're asking for your input. So anyone wants to say a couple of words, you're welcome to come on up at this time. Take as much time as you want. We're waiting for Mr. Trudeau. He is the keynote speaker.
While we're waiting for the keynote speaker, Justin Trudeau, I would like to say that we should honor a grassroots democracy over a corporatocracy. The people at the very top of both parties are the same people, the corporations right now. And we, the people, need to take back our country, a country for the people, and we need to honor the framework of our Constitution and not the framework of big oil and empire building. We cannot grow our economy by bombing us into new markets. We can't expand our economy by bombing other people forever. We need to grow as a community and have a sustainable future for 7 generations in the future. We need to think about sustainability and long-term benefits. We need to develop green technology and not suppress it.
Everybody. I would like to talk about the orcas, because if these tar sands and this oil starts coming down from the Trans Mountain Pipeline, the tanker traffic is going to increase by 700%. Right now there's only 4 tankers basically that go through there every week, but they want to do it 700%. Think about that. Our 78 orcas I think we're down to now. We are now going to lose them, because if these tankers continue to go into the Puget Sound and the Salish Sea, they're going to lose their hearing, they're going to lose their sonar, they're going to lose everything because they can't communicate. As plus as they're going to even bump the hulls. So we need to stop it so we can protect our orcas, and that's the most important thing. Because we don't have the orcas, we don't have the salmon, we don't have the krill, we don't have the plankton, everything will die. And if we look at what's happening up in what was it, Prince Williams, there's still oil up there from Exxon Valdez. There's still oil. This will not go away. So when they say that they can clean it up, it's bullshit. And the thing is about it up there is they don't even have their Coast Guard up there even having emergency cleanup. And I know that they're working on it up there, the people are, but at this point, they don't have the funding. Do we have the funding? And one thing I do know is they promised Vancouver water. Kinder Morgan promised Vancouver water if they pollute. But they didn't give it to anybody else. What's going to happen when the oil comes down to Bellingham and goes down into Lummingland and then goes down into Tulalip? It's not going to stop. Those currents are swift and they're fast. And they're not going to care about anything beyond the borders of Vancouver. We have a problem. So we need to stop this project, protect our forests. I mean, have you looked at it? People who haven't looked at the tar sands and what's happening up there, go look. Go look at the destruction that's happening up there. And look at the cancer that's coming up there. The cancers and the scabs on people's arms and legs. They can hardly bathe anymore. They can't even drink. So that's just one thing. Or more things. So we need to stop this, but also to protect our orcas. Thank you.
Say something about Mr. Trudeau. How many people have a statement in your hand. Somebody gave me this one. I'm going to read it. We need to take real action on climate change. Justin Trudeau said this. Does anybody else have one? He ran on a progressive ticket to take care of problems. He lied. He lied. He's a pretty boy liar. Yes, and he needs to do something about this. Does anybody else have a quote? Somebody handed them out. We need to hold him to these promises. And what he said and what he's doing are two different things. Come on, Mr. Trudeau, come down and talk to us and tell us about climate change and how you're fighting it. Thank you.
I just wanted to add to that. When my sister was speaking, I was listening to her and I was thinking about some of the First Nation relatives that I know and their opinion of Trudeau. Trudeau doesn't respect First Nations people. Trudeau, why don't you honor your First Nations people? Why don't you honor the land that your country is on? Why don't you respect the people that are from that land, that own that land before you were there? Honor those people, honor those women, honor those children, honor that life there. People over profits. Your money and your big business and all your corporations will die when the water dies. Your money will mean nothing. Your money will mean nothing. Your grandchildren will have nothing. Their grandchildren will have nothing. We don't have that much time. There is not that much time on this planet. At the rate that you're all going for these corporations, for these oils and fossil fuels, and for these tar sands, our wildlife and our plant life, our animals, our roots, the way of life that we live is in danger. And I was just wanting to say that was on my heart. That Trudeau, you look good. You even have a good smile. But your heart is like a black snake. Yes. Your heart is like a black snake. And you're all about money, and you're not about people. And it's very clear when you signed and when you met with Trump that who you were for was yourself and your pocket. And you weren't about this land, and you weren't about your own people. You don't honor your First Nations people. You don't respect your First Nations people. You don't respect the land that you live on and the air that you breathe. And you don't appreciate and respect and honor the water that you need in order to breathe and to live, in order to eat. And that will come back on you. And that will not just come back on you, but that will come back on this whole entire country, this nation, this whole planet. When will you honor the water? When will you honor people over profit? That's what we're all here for. Hear us. I know that Trudeau, not only do you not honor and respect the land you live on, but you don't honor and respect the women and the children of the First Nations. You don't honor and respect the women and the children of the First Nations. They are under oppression. Their children, like our children on many reservations / concentration camps, are under oppression, are still suffering atrocities. Might I add that last week, Dakota Access leaked like we knew it would. How many times while they were building did they say we have the best tubing? How many times did they say, if it leaks, it's not going to leak, they would say. And we knew in our hearts. That's why everybody went to those front lines in prayer. That's why they went there and they got arrested. My sister right here was one of them, and I'm going to pass the mic over to her because I know she has a lot to share.
Hudson Australia. Ian Snáinte, Athwan Science, and My name is Vanessa Castle, or Strong Woman in my language. I am from the Lower Alwakalum tribe on the Olympic Peninsula, Port Angeles, Washington. Some of you may know, I just returned from Standing Rock in March. I am out on bond right now for inciting a riot, is what they're accusing me of. But I want Trudeau to know that if he does end up building this pipeline, if he allows it to go through those lands, he will have resistance from the people. We will not allow this pipeline to get to our ocean. We will stop it before it even gets to the ocean. Stop it when it comes out of that tar sand. He has no consent from the First Nations brothers and sisters up north. He has not been implementing UNDRIP, which he agreed to do. This will not only be affecting our First Nations, even though that's where it'll be routed through, is their unceded territories up north. But this will be affecting all of us here in Washington State. The oil tanker traffic will be running down through the Sailor Sea and out through the streets of Juan de Fuca, which is my front yard. This will be affecting all of our salmon, all of our whales, plus we have proven that the whales that are being killed, the endangered fin whale in the Northwest, that is on the endangered species list, most of its killings is because of tanker traffic. And increasing that by 700%, you don't think that's going to have an effect on the fin whale, which is the second largest mammal in the ocean? We need to protect the ones who don't have a voice. We need to stand up and be that voice. For the ones who swim, the ones who fly, the four-legged, and for all of our brothers and sisters here. Thank you.
Mic's open.
As you all know, Trudeau is here because he's speaking at the Microsoft conference this afternoon to some of the richest executives in the world. One of the topics at this conference is the space race. And so I absolutely refuse to believe that if we live in a time when we can contemplate travel to Mars, that we cannot come up with a more sustainable options for energy and for living life on this planet. And I'm just very concerned that he has chosen to pay more attention to Mars than to our own planet, but at the same time it is possible. We live at a time of unprecedented technological advances. We have solutions out there. And so I'm here today just to call on Mr. Trudeau to step up, to be a real leader, to be a green leader, to be somebody who thinks into the future of his own children, the future of all children on this planet. And if we just continue this pressure, he may step up. It's always possible, and it's our responsibility to keep putting on pressure to him and to remind him of the commitment that he made when he took office. And thank you all for being here so much.
Mic's open. Come on, I know there's a lot of people that have good things to say.
Several generations ago, my family was from what is now known as Quebec. There's something written on the Quebecois license plate. You've probably seen it. It reads in English, "We remember." Trudeau, we will remember your inaction today. Thank you.
Oh, come on. I'll start calling names, but I don't know anybody's name.
Thank you for your leadership, Roxanne, and Ray, and thank you for Chessa and for people who helped get this together so quickly. It's great to see people come out and take a stand for Mother Earth, take a stand for the place that keeps us alive. And we want to make sure that our national leaders, all national leaders, understand their responsibility in this emergency. Today's emergency is about not whether we're going to build new pipelines, but whether we're going to stop the pipelines that are already flowing. Yeah. The house is on fire. Yeah. We can't build a new barbecue grill. We need to put out the fire. So I call on Justin Trudeau to honor the commitments made in Paris, to honor the commitments to Indigenous nations, to honor the rights of our young. I'm working with the kids who are suing the government here in Washington State and at the federal level for their constitutional rights to air and water and the things they will require to grow to adulthood safely. We have to honor those requirements. We have to honor what we destroy, they cannot use. So we're here today asking Justin Trudeau whether or not he's going to take care of all of our children. There were several hundred people praying and holding space at Standing Rock this last year. People, many of them were arrested for, what was it, rioting, inciting riots, trespass. These were prayerful people trying to protect our water. And yet, the military police were defending the pipeline company instead of our air and water. So we stand here asking if Justin Trudeau is going to call out the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to defend people and rights and water, or to defend pipelines. Because you can't be on both sides on this one. You can't build solar panels and pipelines. You have to choose one or the other. You have to make a choice. So I was arrested after shutting off the Keystone 1 pipeline crossing the Canadian border. About 10 miles south of the Canadian border in northeast North Dakota. And I waited for the sheriffs to come and decide what they were going to do with me. What does justice look like for someone who stops a crime in action? When I cut the chains, when I turned off the flow of tar sands from Canada, 590,000 barrels of toxic diluted bitumen stopped moving under my feet. All that poison stopped in its place. And they had to decide if I was the criminal or if TransCanada was criminal for coming and turning the pipeline back on later that day. And that's the choice we all have to make. That's the choice we have to give our leaders. Are we going to continue consuming this stuff? If they keep pumping this poison into our veins, will we keep buying it? Will we keep paying for it? We have to stop consuming it. When the house almost burns down, we can't point fingers at each other and say, oh, it's the leaders, it's the corporations. We're the customers. We have some culpability here. History will not look favorably on any of us. So we all bear shame. We all bear responsibility. We all pay for this poison. And we have to stop today. So we're asking Justin Trudeau to make a commitment to stop any planned oil infrastructure, any planned coal infrastructure, any planned gas infrastructure. And we're asking Justin Trudeau to take action and put regulations in place that will shut down dependence on tar sands in Alberta, Canada. I'm going to be going to trial later this year, and a jury of my peers will decide what justice looks like for me. But I'm asking you, and I ask myself, what does justice look like for our children? And let's make sure that we're committed each and every day to taking action that delivers justice for our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Good words. I want to talk really quickly about Standing Rock and Lake Oahe and Bismarck, North Dakota. I want to remind everybody that Dakota Access and Energy Transfer first proposed Dakota Access to go under through Bismarck. And Bismarck, North Dakota, their people said no, not here. Not here, because it's going to affect us. So Energy Transfer, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Army Corps of Engineers decided that it would be okay to go under Lake Oahe, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribes territory and land, tribal land, treaty land. And this is what happens all over. You know, it starts with places like Standing Rock, right there in Cannonball, or low poverty places like Flint, Michigan, places and people that are of lower income. This country and these oil companies and this government targets the less fortunate, the ones that are already struggling, the 1%. And I just want to encourage all my people, all my Native relatives, all my nieces, my nephews, my aunties, my uncles, my friends, my relatives from back home, all those that are watching us out here. If you look around, there's a small percentage of Native people that attend these. And when I go home, I see little activity. The generational genocide and the oppression of Native people, today is the day that we need to stand up. And we need to begin to heal. Trudeau, stop the tar sands! Stop the tar sands! No consent! No consent!
Stop the tar sands!
There we are right there.
No
nice
consent!
People over profit! Boo!
Ooh.
And they're laughing, it's funny.
They think it's funny. It's a big joke to you, isn't it?
Wow, wow. So what I was saying is that I encourage all my relations, all my relatives, all my Native, all my indigenous people to stand up and use your voice. Stand up and find out what's going on, because this government is coming after us. Trump is coming after us. He is trying at this very moment to privatize water, our tribes, our way of life. We have to stand up. We have to stand up as a people. We cannot be docile anymore and just allow this government to dictate to us what is good for us. My Native people, we have to stand up. We have to join together and we have to vote. We have to take action. We have to fight back. We have to use our voices. This is the day and time. It is our responsibility for our future generations to come out of silence, to come out of meekness, to come out of quietness, and to use our voices through culture, through song, through dance, however, but we also need to play at their level.
Yeah.
And we need to get involved at their level. We need to vote, we need to educate, we need to talk about these things in our schools. We need to talk about what pipelines and what fracking and fossil fuels are and what our part is in that and how we can make a difference as a people. So I encourage all my relations to please use your voice.
My hands go up to all of you, our allies. You know, this isn't just an indigenous problem that they thought it was when Standing Rock first started. This is a problem for humanity. This is a problem for all of us. This affects every single one of us. If you drink water, if you live on this land, if you eat the fish that comes from the water, all of those things, this is going to affect you. Even if you don't eat fish, if this affects our waters, where do you think we get our drinking water from? Where do you think that water evaporates from? Also, I want to push everybody. Everybody says, oh, stay peaceful, my relatives. Peaceful does not mean passive.
My name's Curtis, with a group called the Mosquito Fleet. I was born and raised on a little island in Washington State called Lopez Island. That's in the San Juan Islands. And the San Juan Islands stands squarely in the middle of the tanker path for the tar sands tankers that run weekly through these waters through the Puget Sound. The San Juan Islands are basically one big roundabout for the tar sands oil tankers. And as folks have said earlier today, if the Trans Mountain pipeline expansion, Kinder Morgan's pipeline expansion is built, those oil tankers, the traffic's going to increase by 700%. So people back home are worried. They're extremely worried about the impacts of an oil spill. It's really not a matter of if, but a matter of when. So anyway, it's important to keep in mind down here, it's not just Canadian communities, but there are communities in the United States that will be directly impacted by this project. And it's not just communities in Canada that will resist this project, but we will resist it. And we'll join with our brothers and sisters up in Canada to do everything that we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
Just want to say I spent the last few days up in British Columbia with our brothers and sisters from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation who are leading a fight against this pipeline, Kinder Morgan pipeline. And my friend, my brother Cedar George Parker from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation, son of Reuben George, he couldn't be here today, but he sent a message for me to read for you all. This is from Cedar. And again, these are not my words, these are Cedar's words. As the Tsleil-Waututh Nation, we oppose the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion by Kinder Morgan. We're standing up with our allies and encourage people of all the world to support. Justin Trudeau is a liar. What happens when I want a drink of water? What happens when I want to go swimming or take a shower and an oil spill happens? There's an 87% chance of an oil spill if this pipeline is built, affecting everyone in the Puget Sound and the Coast Salish area. This is not a Canadian problem. This is not an American problem. It's an everyone problem.
Yep.
Let's not let borders separate us. Let's not let Trudeau affect our well-being. Again, those are the words of Cedar George Parker from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation just today. So I just want to close by saying to Mr. Trudeau, stop this pipeline or the people will.
Thank you all for being here. Once again, we're going to sing the American Indian movement song here. So if you know the song, join us. And I want to thank the Seattle Police for doing an outstanding job. If you guys could try to keep that area right there on that street edge open, so people can pass through here. And once you get arrested for trespassing, we better save your arrest for more drastic actions. Okay, at this time, if you all know the song, this is the song that was composed in South Dakota. From North Dakota. Well, this one here is American Indians movement song. It was composed, and this song is an anthem for movements everywhere. The American Indian movement first used it during Alcatraz. I believe it was composed after Alcatraz when Gordon Yellow Thunder was murdered in Nebraska, right across the border of South Dakota. And the American Indian movement started this movement to recognize as a strong force to protect our Native people's rights. The American Indian movement made the song, the Indian song. Seattle, thank you for standing up for our rights and standing up for
whenever we're done. As soon as it gets
atrocities that are being put in place by corporations.
They're fine. We're
thank you for standing up and voicing your opinions. And thank you for coming here and joining us here today. We have a lot of people here, and we've got a lot of time too, so we'll hear some more opinions here. Thank you, brother. Just wanted to thank everybody for being here, for putting in this work, to really making a sacrifice and calling people's attention to the things that are happening. And I think one of the most important things that we need to consider is that we're talking about not this generation
maybe not the next generation, but 3 generations from now, our grandchildren's children, what are they going to drink? What are they going to live? How are they going to live? What type of people are they going to be? And they're going to learn from our example and the things that we do. So if we walk by the street, if we continue to participate in giving our money to the corporations that are going to use our money to do harm to the things that we value the most. It's what we call on people to take consciousness today and say, I'm not going to be a part of this. You need to think about this, because one day your children are going to need something to drink, and I hope and I pray the Creator will allow them to have something to drink. You know, we have to understand that we have to make this struggle not just for ourselves. Too many times we get caught up in this cycle of just doing what is convenient now, what is easy now, and we don't think ahead. It's just like our people have always thought 7 generations ahead. Well, we're that generation that they talked about, that they prayed about, that would come to action, that would come to the defense of Mother Earth. So I want to raise my hands to all of you for being here today, for being a part of this struggle, for being in solidarity with our Native brothers and sisters. We need to stand up. And we understand at this point in time the effects of colonization. We understand that we can no longer oppress people. We can no longer go across the street and pollute and not expect the air to bring that pollution back to us. We cannot expect to go to other countries and harm people and harm their lands and not expect to have that same effect here. We're feeling it. We're living in it. We're living in it, and we need to stand up to do something to change these things. So when I see these things, when I see people stand up like this in this way, it makes me proud. It makes me happy. You know, it makes me feel like we should have hope, that it's not too late, that people are starting to wake up and take consciousness and do something. So I'm walking down and I see these things. You inspire me. You inspire people. And everything you do counts, and it matters. You know, it matters, and it's important. And so these songs are for our ancestors. The songs are for our people that are still here. You might have put concrete over the land. You might have put buildings on top of our graves. But deep down in that earth are the bodies of our ancestors. It's the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. And that's why we stand up to protect this land. That's why we stand up to defend this land. Because we think about them. And we think about them being here with us. And we cannot abandon this land. We cannot abandon this earth. So we need to defend it. We need to stand up. And we need to start take action now and take consciousness and build things within our own community and stop giving up our money, start giving up our power to these corporations that don't care about us. We only start doing business and building up things with people. This is my brother. So instead of going to a store that brings me this genetically modified salmon, I'm going to buy it from my brother. I'm going to support Native businesses. I'm going to support people who are trying to create change, even if it costs me a little bit more. Because I know the costing now is going to pay down the road. Now we're taking shortcuts now, and we're paying for those shortcuts today. And our children are going to pay for the shortcuts that we take, and our grandchildren. So I just want to encourage everybody to think about what we're doing, think about this, our water, and know that when they go out in these spaceships, they go out to see what's out there, the one thing they look for is water. Because when there's water on the planet, when there's water out there, they know there's life. And so we need to protect our water, because that's our bloodline, that's our life, that's our mother. So I just want to thank everybody. Ahoy, brother, thank you.
All right, thank you. Good words from Smiley here. With brother in the Native American church here. See him at the teepee meetings every now and then. I want to thank everyone here that's joining us on Facebook Live. We want to encourage everyone that's out there to continue to stand up to the corporations, continue to stand up against this dirty oil, continue to stand up against the pipelines, continue to do actions against all the banks, divest. We can continue to cooperate with the police, and they'll cooperate with you. And so that we work together to get our message out to the people, to the media, to the newspapers, everywhere. We should be heard. We want everyone to join us to continue to keep our water clean, our lands pristine, for our animals, for all our people, our children, and our future generations. We don't need no water from Nestle. We don't need no Pepsi. We just want water from the earth, artesian wells, and we demand that the water remain free because it's our human right to live. We shouldn't have to buy water. Water is our life. We depend on it. Everyone does. All animals, plants, all living things. When you kill us by making us pay for that water, you're killing our planet, you're killing our trees, you're killing our animals. So I just want you to know, Mr. Justin Trudeau, that you need to stop trying to ship that dirty oil through America and shipping it to other countries. Because it's not doing us any good. Keep it in the soil. Thank you all once again for being here. Thank you for all your perseverance. Thank you for being relentless. Thank you for being who you are, water protectors. Teachers around the world. Just kidding, no pizza today. Also, we'd like to thank the original ancestors of this land, the Duwamish Nation, for allowing us to be able to stand here and to deliver this message to the Canadian Consulate here. Even though we didn't get to get inside here, I'm sure they know we're out here. I don't know what they're afraid of. We're just human beings like them. Our lives are just as important as theirs. So Mr. Justin Trudeau, we're going to find out where this Microsoft Expo Summit is, and we're going to come and see you tomorrow. Okay. Thank you all once again for being here. I'm going to sing one more last song here. I'm going to sing a prayer song here, so all of you, my friend Smiley here is going to sing a prayer song, and then we're going to close it on out here for the day. I think these police officers need some donuts. Okay, this is a Native American church song, so if you get the written please remove your hats if you can. Out of respect, and this prayer goes out to all our water protectors, all our police officers, all of Seattle. No recording, please. Hey,